CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Well, good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Charges have been laid in connection to a sudden death at the Algoma Treatment and Remand Center in Sault Ste. Marie. Police were called to the correctional facility last Wednesday to investigate the sudden death of a 25-year-old in custody. Their investigation revealed the victim and a 40-year-old were arguing when the older man began punching and stomping on the victim. The 40-year-old man is now being charged with second-degree murder. A call about a possible impaired ATV driver has led to charges for a 20-year-old man. On October 3rd, OPP responded to a parking lot on Government Road in Kapuskasing. When they attempted to pull the driver over, he fled the scene, driving through a fence, hitting a construction pylon at high speed. A coroner's inquest began today in Constance Lake First Nation near Hearst. It's examining the deaths of 5 people who died during a blastomycosis outbreak between 2021 and 2022. CTV's Amanda Hicks reports.
From November 2021 to January 2022, a blastomycosis outbreak spread across Constance Lake First Nation, a community of approximately 750 people living on reserve. The outbreak affected more than 50 individuals and claimed the lives of Luke Moore, Lorraine Shaganash, Lizzie Sutherland, Mark Ferris, and Douglas Taylor. As the inquest began, presiding officer Dr. Michael Wilson extended his condolences in his opening statement, acknowledging how difficult the process would be for the families and the community, saying the hope is to learn from past events and build towards a better future. He added the inquest is not to assign blame or legal ramifications. 5 jurors will listen to evidence to answer 5 critical questions about the deceased, including the who, when, where, how, and by what means they died. The inquest will also examine broader factors that contributed to the tragedy, including whether the healthcare experience of First Nations people was impacted by their Indigenous identity and place of residence. Additionally, the jury can also provide recommendations which will be shared with levels of government, agencies, and organizations to prevent a similar tragedy from touching this community again. The Anishinaabe Aski Nation expressed its support for Constance Lake First Nation in a statement, saying in part, "This deadly lung infection continues to pose serious risk to the community, and we look forward to understanding more about what, if anything, can be done to prevent similar tragedies from occurring." The first 3 days of the inquest will be held at the Community Hall in Constance Lake First Nation, with the remainder held virtually. Approximately 30 witnesses will share their accounts during the 25-day inquest. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is on a brief tour of Northern Ontario, kicking it off earlier today in Sault Ste. Marie. Poilievre had 2 stops, touring a housing project being constructed and SIS Manufacturing. The company is an international supplier of industrial and construction-related steel products and services. Poilievre spoke to some of the 65 employees and took a walk in their shoes, trying out some of the equipment. The Conservative leader, joined by former Sault Ste. Marie Algoma candidate Hugh Stevenson, then addressed workers on a number of topics before taking questions from employees. Poilievre also took aim at the Prime Minister.
He promised to put his elbows up, handle Trump, negotiate a win, and have a deal by July 21st. Still no deal, still no win, still no elbows, and the only thing that's up are American tariffs on Canada since the Prime Minister took office.
To end the day, Poilievre toured the 9-story construction development being undertaken by Saldan Construction. Well, the mood was celebratory tonight at Nairn Centre Community Hall as residents came together to mark a big win. After months of standing up to the Ministry of Transportation in a bid to keep radioactive niobium tailings out of the Agnew Lake area at an abandoned uranium mine, over the summer it was announced the province canceled its plans. Tonight, the community got together to celebrate community leaders, and they tell CTV News it felt good to have their voices heard.
I think it's great because our community came together. They spoke up when they needed to. They stood side by side and supported the mayor and I when we did town halls, tried to keep people informed. I think people really started to trust that we had their best interests at heart when we were fighting for this cause.
We're really excited. There's hot cinnamon buns, and we're just excited to have the community come out that supported us, and political leaders and everyone that was part of the quest to have the niobium go somewhere else.
A huge win. You're talking a small community, couple hundred people that came together, spoke with one voice, said no to radioactive material being added to the landfill site, and they won.
The niobium tailings at the center of the controversy have since been transported to the Clean Harbors Hazardous Waste Facility in Sarnia. Comments related to the death of an American podcaster, Charlie Kirk, continue to stir up controversy at Sault Ste. Marie City Council. CTV's Corey Nordstrom reports.
It's been over a month since comments from Sault City Councillor Angela Caputo started controversy. On September 12th, 2 days after the death of Charlie Kirk, Caputo addressed those who stated their advocacy for the American podcaster, in part saying, quote, "You're not speaking up for injustice, you're speaking for white supremacy, misogyny, and racism. I am sorry that another human being was shot. That's horrifying. I use my vote and my voice to try to make sure acts of gun violence don't happen, but Charlie did not." 3 anonymous complaints were submitted to the city clerk last month, leading to an investigation from the Integrity Commissioner. The estimated cost of the inquiry is roughly $15,000. Councillor Stephen Kinnick alluded to Caputo's resignation as a way to avoid that cost.
If the councillor resigns, that would bring the investigation to an end and would avoid the estimated $15,000 for an investigation.
I understand that if I was spreading hate speech, that I should be held accountable regardless. I do not believe that anything that I said was hateful or untrue.
Sioux councillors had a number of concerns with the investigation, including that much of those opposing Councillor Caputo's words on Kirk were not locals.
When this occurred, councillors, including myself, were in receipt of probably dozens of emails that were signed not with just signatures, but with geographic locations outside of Sault Ste. Marie.
Pat King from the Freedom Convoy grabbed the petition that was being put around and reshared it to his page.
Caputo says she stands by her words and will not be resigning over this incident. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, it's Wednesday, and every Wednesday we take time out to interview a mayor of our choosing on the air over a variety of topics in a segment we call the Mayor's Chair. Earlier tonight, I spoke with Burke Falls Mayor Chris Hope. The community and the Almaguin Highlands having its fair share of rough weather over this past year.
We're Northerners. We're used to big challenges when it comes to weather. But, I mean, Mother Nature sure threw a lot of curveballs our way this spring. And especially further south, where they had some incredible drops of snow that we didn't get, oddly enough. But the crews were fantastic, and things got cleaned up very well. We had very little downtime when it came to electric power either. The crews were really quick to fix things.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Mother Nature let up on you guys, so hopefully she gives you a little bit of a break. As you mentioned, highway safety in that area, or the highway in that area, there's a big stretch of Highway 11 where there's a lot of different issues, particularly for your counterparts on Highway 11. I realize 11 looks a little different where you are, but is it a factor for residents in Burkes Falls? And what do you think the MTO could be doing better?
Hey, you know, we're one of the first communities you hit in Northern Ontario. And the weather and the culture seems to change the moment you enter, and it shapes our lives up here. There's a bit of a saying up here, you either, as a Northerner, you either learn to get along with Mother Nature or she kills you. And so that's basically how we operate here. But again, the challenges we saw with the highway, with railways and all that sort of stuff, we were able to get through, but it sure was a very strange year for weather.
And our thanks to Mayor Hope. That full interview is up on our website at CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. Next week, we'll sit down with Latchford's Mayor Sharon Kaduri East. Well, from training to salaries and benefits, the Greater Sudbury Police Service is seeking approval of its 2026-27 budget. It was unanimously approved by its board today. The 26 budget will see a 12.6% increase from $83.4 million in 2025 to over $94 million in 2026. Police Chief Sarah Cunningham says it's a very lean budget, but it is a significant increase, which she says is largely due to 4 collective agreements expiring this year.
99% are fixed costs of our budget, mostly with salaries and benefits. And so, again, we came in as lean as we could, not increasing our overtime budget, which we probably should have.
The chief says every year the police service has gone to the board to ask to increase contributions to debt finance a future facility, but this year decided to leave it out. This will also be the first time the service dips into reserves, pulling out $720,000. The budget still needs to be approved by City Council. Chief Cunningham and the board's chair will present it during the November 12th meeting. Timmins City Council has provided staff with direction on the much-debated Leo Del Villano Park. The park was a hot topic at council over the summer as councillors and staff debated how to expand the park's offerings. At the meeting last night, council chose to overhaul and expand the existing tennis courts to include 2 pickleball courts and the repositioning of the soccer field to the south end of the park. Staff have also been directed to explore adding a permanent outdoor rink that can be used year-round for skating in the winter and ball hockey in the summer. A tentative contract has been reached between the College Employer Council and striking full-time support workers. The strike began nearly 5 weeks ago with 10,000 workers from Ontario's 24 public colleges walking off the job. The union is presenting the offer to workers today. Workers will return to work tomorrow. The chair of the bargaining committee for the union says the strike not only helped it secure a better deal, but it educated the public on what she says is the deliberate defunding of public colleges by the Ford government. Today is the International Day of Awareness for Pregnancy and Infant Loss. Butterfly Wings Parental Bereavement Services in Sudbury is hosting a vigil for parents to support each other at 14 Beach Street. The nonprofit typically offers support services, but today announcing the message even louder by lighting up the Peace Tower pink and blue in memory of those lost.
There's a lot of suffering in silence, not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. So today is a day where we are going to be more celebrating a little bit our babies and that aspect of our lives. And it's to raise awareness for this cause because 1 out of 4 pregnancies ends in a loss. So it's a really common thing, but still very taboo and a lot of stigma around it.
And this was the scene down at the Sudbury Water Tower a little earlier tonight. The tower's owners lighting it up pink and blue, looking fantastic and clearly a great cause. Well, time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and we've got a lot of cloud cover in around the top end of the region. Clear conditions just about everywhere else. We'll have details in a moment.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
We've got rain in the forecast, and the forecast radar will certainly back me up. This is what we've got coming up in the next couple of days. Sunny skies for tomorrow, but this will affect your day come Friday, beginning early Friday morning and continuing right through the day into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday. Now some of the temperatures as to what you could expect. Sudbury Nickel Belt, mainly sunny tomorrow at 12, chance of showers on Friday, rain Saturday, rain Sunday, chance of showers Monday, and even Tuesday. Take a look at some of the temperatures. You go from a high of 16 down to 10 degrees, which is pretty well normal for this time of the year. Meanwhile, in Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, sunny and 15 tomorrow, but that will change by Friday. Chance of showers on Saturday, rain Sunday, chance of showers Monday and Tuesday. And again, the big drop in temperature from 15, 16 down to 10 by next week, which is slightly below normal. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sun and cloud tomorrow at 11. Showers Friday, chance of showers Saturday. Rain on Sunday, chance of showers Monday and Tuesday. And some of those bets at 60% look awfully good. Normally at this time of the year, you should be sitting at around 8, so you're somewhat above normal, at least until next Wednesday. And in Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sun and cloud tomorrow at 11. Showers on Friday and Saturday. Rain Sunday. Chance of showers Monday and Tuesday. 17 degrees on Saturday, dropping all the way down to 11 by next Tuesday. And some sunshine will appear by next Wednesday, so you'll have to wait at least a week for that, with a temperature of only 9. But again, it's typical October weather. It can change rather quickly between conditions and the temperatures for this time of the year. North Bay, West Nipissing, sunshine and 12 for tomorrow. Friday, chance of showers at 60%. Rain Saturday and Sunday. Monday, chance of showers, more of the same on Tuesday at 60%. That's a pretty good bet. So your temperatures range anywhere from, well, 10 degrees, 17, 16, dropping down to 11, back up to 12 by next Wednesday. And again, your normals at around 11. Ian Campbell, a rather interesting week after a day of sunshine, and we've had a pretty good run here in northeastern Ontario. We've got to deal with a little rain. In some cases, we'll need it, but it's coming by Friday. Back to you.
I'm going to have to enjoy tomorrow. Thanks, Rick. Well, the Business Development Bank of Canada announced a $100 million initiative today to reach more business owners living in rural and remote areas. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
The Business Development Bank of Canada announced a new initiative that will give entrepreneurs greater access to financing to grow their businesses. The opportunity will be available through community futures organizations like the Venture Centre in Timmins, and it's to help entrepreneurs, particularly those in rural and remote communities.
Now, through this program, the financing that you can get through Community Futures goes up to $500,000.
This is really going to allow us to have access to additional funds for us to be able to lend out to our community businesses and without depleting all of the small amount of investment funds that we have. So we're able to partner up with the BDC funds and make a bigger impact with the funds that are available.
We went to see every bank, and they just look at us like, how do you sell your dream to a bank? I know.
Sebastian Maloche owns a welding and fabrication shop in Timmins and says accessing funds through the Venture Centre during the COVID-19 pandemic is the main reason he was able to expand his business.
The Venture Centre gave us a loan, and the BDC, I think, secured our mortgage and all that for that shop, which was a big deal. Like, to us, a $2 million shop, when you're a small business like that, it's still big numbers in today for me, right?
The BDC says it's reaching more places across the country with this initiative through 267 Community Futures offices. It's contributing $100 million for the loans that will be shared 50-50 with Community Futures.
We're looking at up to $250 million in GDP impact over 5 years, so that's very exciting for the Canadian economy.
The new program will be rolled out over the next few months, and the Venture Centre suggests business owners get in touch with the office to be ready when the funds become available. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Sault Ste. Marie businesses are getting a boost from FedNor. MP Terry Sheehan announcing today the Sault Innovation Centre would be receiving more than $950,000 for the Innovation Acceleration Program. The funding will allow the centre to offer $25,000 for projects as well as host workshops and networking events. The centre also received more than $750,000 to provide artificial intelligence training and technology adaptation to small and medium-sized businesses. Algoma University announcing a new master's program today. The Master of Psychotherapy program soon to be offered at Algoma is a first for Northern Ontario. Officials say the new courses have been tailored for practice in the north and took guidance from local voices. Last year, Algoma University brought together mental health leaders and partners, including Indigenous leaders, to consult on the program. And the good news continues for all Northern Ontario universities as Maclean's Magazine's annual university rankings came out recently. Lakehead, Laurentian, Nipissing, and Algoma universities ranked in the top 20 for primarily undergraduate universities. Lakehead University in Thunder Bay was the highest ranked of the 4 schools at number 6 and rated in the top 10 in most of the subcategories like student awards and student to faculty ratio. Laurentian came in at 16th, Nipissing 18th, and Algoma rounded out the top 20. The Timmins Chamber of Commerce will have its new policy on the national stage. The Timmins Chamber, in collaboration with Sudbury and Thunder Bay Chambers, put forward a new policy at the Canadian Chamber of Commerce annual general meeting last week. The policy, From Ore to Opportunity, calls on the federal government to take action on critical mineral exploration and extraction, including mining innovation and the necessary workforce. The National Chamber will now include it in its policy agenda. A Royal Canadian Legion in Sudbury is going to be honoring veterans and servicemen and women with special banners. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
Leo Frappier and his sister speak fondly of their late father. He served in World War II and is one of the veterans to be highlighted in a new banner program.
People forget people so quickly. And when you have something like this, it's in your face and you remember what it's all about.
Royal Canadian Legion Branch 76 launched Phase 1 of its commemorative banner initiative honoring veterans and active personnel. The banner includes a face, a name, and the conflict served. They'll be displayed along a highly visible area in the city.
You may have a picture at home, but it's just amongst the family. Something like this is going to be out to the public and really enforcing that of the importance of what these men and women did for us in our country, so we're able to live the life that we're living today.
It's about promoting veterans and educating others.
Having These Up is something that just portrays veterans and hopefully has our youth asking questions. What are those, Mom? This is why we want to do this and publicize what we're doing.
Sudbury is community number 47 in Ontario to adopt the commemorative banners. 22 will be posted this year. Families can request banners for their loved ones to be erected in future years. The cost is $300, which covers the creation of the banner, the hardware needed, and its installation.
On an annual basis after this, they'll be put up from October 1st through November 12th. So once Remembrance Day is over, then they would come down. And after that, on a monthly basis, we're going to be displaying them here on the wall inside.
By later this week, 10 of the commemorative banners will be hanging from light poles like this one along this busy stretch of the Kingsway. The other dozen will be erected in Memorial Park in downtown Sudbury. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
There's more to come here on CTV News. For now, let's look at that live shot of the Sudbury Water Tower once again. This one courtesy of Sudbury Wolf Sports and Entertainment. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. Well, it was a big win for one of our Northern Ontario teams, this one over in the OHL. The Sioux Greyhounds were home to their divisional rival Saginaw, and what a game tonight for the win column. The Hounds bounced back from a 2-goal deficit to take this one 5-2. Well, a special visit today from the Chief Commissioner of the Ontario Human Rights Commission. She was in North Bay for a presentation at the Indigenous Friendship Centre to address discrimination. Patricia Deguire says it's our duty to advocate and push to end discrimination. In her speech to representatives from health and wellness, municipal leaders and education advocates, Deguire mentioned that there continues to be discrimination in education and healthcare. She was invited to speak by a member of the Indigenous Reconciliation Advisory Group.
Human rights can be sustained and advanced if every individual takes responsibility.
When it comes to health care for Indigenous patients, the Commission met with friendship centres and other organizations in Northern Ontario to get feedback on its current state. A report titled What We Heard is going to be released in 2026. Finally, tonight, students at a Sudbury elementary school got a special opportunity to unbury a time capsule twice. CTV's Madison Merrier reports.
treasures, creating a new school tradition.
Our students wanted to do something special for the millennium, so they decided to do a time capsule for 10 years. So it was brought back up in 2010, and at the time it was decided as a school that we wanted to wait 15 years this time. So here we are in 2025.
After opening the capsule, students were able to see the now graduated students' mementos from the past, even including a Carby science experiment.
I felt a little nervous because they were also digging up an old time capsule that's been in there for 25 years. So it was a little energetic, but also a little worrying to see what they actually put in there.
I see a lot of pictures of old families that used to go to the school, and I found it very funny that there's a piece of bread in the time capsule, which is like very funny, so that's my thoughts.
What do you want people to know?
Well, I want them to know that I play soccer and that my favorite color is blue and that I love math.
The time capsule brought back more than just memories as the retired principal Suzanne Book returned to watch the new generation carry on their tradition.
They're still excited about doing something special. So I have a lot of faith in the new generations coming up, and it will be just as beautiful, I'm sure.
At the end of the day, students reburied the time capsule, leaving behind their gifts that will be rediscovered in 10 years. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
That's our newscast this Thursday night. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.